Hey everybody, it's Jeremy here from Done Right Services Basement Waterproofing Foundation Repair Company. Today we're working in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and we're going to be doing some foundation crack repairs. So here we have a crack in a foundation that had been previously repaired. The house is about 12 years old, so the repair was done covered under the warranty, or excuse me, about 10 years old. So the repair was covered under the warranty of the builder, which hired a company to come in and use an epoxy injection. As you can see, the ports that they use. So they drill a series of holes in a foundation, and you can see they lined it off. And then they proceed to pump the epoxy here. Now look at this. Does this make any sense? We're going to inject into concrete to stop water something that is going to crack somewhere down the road. It makes no sense whatsoever. However, the method does last. We know who the company that did this. They're pretty reputable. They've been around for a very long time. You've probably spoken to them a few times about, cracks in your foundation. However, it cost somebody $650 to make this repair. It cost the builder $650 to make the repair. And here we are 10 years later. And because we're doing other cracks in the basement, we gave the customer a discount. So we're charging him $600 to do this repair. So can you imagine if you were the original owner, 10 years ago, you paid somebody $650 to make that repair. 10 years later, you have to pay somebody another $600 to make that repair. That's $1,200 in 10 years. With our method of foundation waterproofing and welding, one repair, $600, $700, and it's covered for the life of the foundation. That's a 15-year money-back guarantee, right? So you heard it right. If we cannot stop the water from coming into your basement, we will give you your money back. Okay? After 15 years, say 16, 17 years, you start getting some leaking. We're going to come in. We're still going to cover that under warranty. We're going to make the repairs. We're going to stop it. It's a fully transferable warranty. So 20 years, 30 years down the road, no one is going to pay for this crack repair ever again. It's going to always be covered under a warranty. As you can see here, there's another crack that I just finished grinding. So it'll look just very similar to the other one. So what I'm gonna do is get started. I'm gonna grind this crack out over here and then get these sealed up. All right, so here we are, finished product. Look at that, huh? Nice and clean. As we come over here, take a look at this one. What's great about working in basements is it's like 85 degrees out right now, and it's nice and cool in here. Whew, a little sweaty though. So the purpose of this video wasn't to say that I'm better than this guy. It's to show you that there are other options available. Epoxy or urethane foam isn't your only option. We do a liquid rubber welding, and this is what it looks like. We compared examples of other methods, and now you decide, you choose. Okay, our warranty versus warranty, repair method versus repair method, materials versus materials. Whoever you talk to, there's gonna be differences in opinion. There is no apples to apples when it comes to repairing a concrete foundation. Some guys will tell you want to dig outside and charge you thousands of dollars to use hydraulic cement and all these membranes. Forget about that. Tearing up your yard, tearing up your driveway, tearing up your landscaping. And then it's got to be, say you got to dig down 8 feet. And the building inspector comes by and he sees a guy in a trench, and now OSHA gets involved, and it's a hassle. the best method of repairing a crack in a concrete foundation is inside your basement. If it's finished, we can cut out the sheetrock, we can get at it, then you hire a handyman or contractor to come in and patch up the sheetrock. Not a big deal. It's a lot cheaper than trying to dig it from the outside. Also, I wanted to mention, we do offer discounts for multiple crack repairs. So if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 in your basement, I'm not going to charge you $600-700 per crack. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at the cracks. We're going to see what they look like, whether they have previously been repaired, how wide, how thick, and give you multiple discounts. So we're going to give you 20, 30, 40% off. So you can pay $600 for one crack and then knock it down to like $400 each additional, as an example. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too is that this method of foundation welding, okay, it's not injection, it's welding. So what we're doing is we're taking rubber, welding it, we're using a torch to heat up the concrete, open up the pores to get our material to soak into the concrete, so that way it becomes part of the concrete. Foundation welding is much different than foundation injection. Okay, they're trying to inject material between the crack. We're trying to overlap and weld it so it stops the water from coming in. Now, number one question everybody always asks me, where does the water go? Well, there isn't a significant amount of hydrostatic water pressure when it comes to water trying to come in through a crack in a foundation. It's not like your water table rising up and having water come in through cracks and joints on a floor. That type of water pressure is much different than a crack in a foundation. So typically on a standard foundation, you're going to be somewhere midstream, so anywhere between 4 feet down. So you can see that this is a much shorter foundation. It gets much higher as you go up over there. But typically, you're going to be somewhere in the middle where it starts to leak. Now, our method is creating resistance, preventing that water from finding the least resistance in the cracks and joints to come into your basement. This weld, what it does is it prevents the water from coming in and allows it to naturally drain and follow its course to be absorbed by the ground or to go under the ground and be absorbed that way. So that's why you can see we do kind of like an upside down T, right? So it's a line across. So that way, by the time the water is trickling down, it's not going to try to penetrate our coating or our crack filler because it's following least resistance. So it's still going down, down, down. Okay, by the time it gets down here, it's going to hit the footing. Now it's got a concrete to sit on. It could squirt back up. So that's why we go about a foot in either direction. And then now that just allows it to drain even further beyond the footing, the concrete foundation, the concrete floor. So that's how we're able to divert that water and stop it from coming into your basement. The idea of drilling holes in concrete, I'm not a big fan of it, but don't get me wrong, I started out doing it that way just like everybody else. I just felt that there must be a better method of welding, stopping water, crack repairs. You know, I've done the approach of digging outside and digging down and grinding that way, and you know, you run into the exterior waterproofings or the membranes that are on the outside of the concrete foundations. That's like black tar. It's contaminating the concrete. Try to get good adhesion to that is almost impossible. And then you have the spring and thaw, the expansion and contraction, things move. So like say for instance, you're on the outside, you get it nice and clean. You start using hydraulic cement to patch it up. You might want to throw some dry lock or something over it, whatever the guy at Home Depot tells you to do. Cement, concrete, it's all the same. It doesn't bond to one another. So that's why, and I'm going to show you another example here. We talk a lot about this cove joint where the wall, foundation wall and concrete floor meet. This exists in every single basement. The reason why is because when the concrete foundation was first installed, then the concrete floor, it doesn't bond, okay? So it creates what's called a cold joint. So that exists in several different areas throughout your basement, but that's why you can't use hydraulic cement or any cementitious products to stop cracks from leaking, because eventually the first winter it's going to expand and contract, shift and move, and it's going to separate your repair, and then you're going to have leakage. Same kind of concept with the epoxy. Their concept is we're going to inject in between the crack, right? We're going to go in between the crack and fill it with epoxy. Your foundation shifts, it moves, and we're talking very minor movement, very minor separation, okay? But it breaks the bond to the concrete from the epoxy, and now it cracked right beside it, and now water comes in. With this method, you have a 1/4 inch crack, but a 2.5 inch weld. That's going to allow this foundation to move in any direction that it wants to, and with a structurally stable foundation, okay? So we're not talking, if your foundation's moving like an inch, 1/2 inch in either direction, that is a structural issue. Our crack repairs are not structural repairs. These are non-structural foundation crack repairs. So anything wider, I would say like an inch, 1.5 inches, should be inspected with a structural engineer first to find out the extent of the damage. But every crack that we deal with within a concrete foundation, hairline cracks, shrinkage cracks. So those, the only problems are water gets into your basement. All right, so for everybody that's watching, I'll stop talking now, but call today. I'll give you an additional $50 off per crack. That's right, $50 off per crack if you call today. Give me a call, 978-808-7873. And again, thanks for watching.